Hi, everybody. This is Lee, and I'm talking about Republican peace candidates. There's some, I think. This is an article at Truth Out. It's by Robert Nyman. The title is "Why Wouldn't Peace Advocates Compete in Republican Congressional Primaries?" And I say, do it. Do it to it. Do it till you can't do it anymore, for sure. Brand new Congress is doing something like that. They're running progressives in Republican primaries, challenging Republicans, questioning the idea of what true conservatism is, populism, things like that. And it seems like, well, of course that is not possible. You can't run a progressive in a Republican primary. But yes, you can. Yes, you can, because we've seen gains in this arena. We saw, for instance, Bernie Sanders, who ran through the Democratic primary in 2016, actually pulled not only independents into his campaign, but he also pulled in Republicans into his campaign, as well as libertarians into his campaign. He ran on a populist, progressive platform that stayed consistent throughout his entire candidacy through the Democratic primary. It was progressive, specifically on economic issues, and then also well, mostly economic issues. But it was compelling enough to where he was able to pull support away from people who might have otherwise wanted to vote in the Republican primary for one of the Republican candidates, or the Libertarian primary. Also pulling people who might have otherwise voted for Hillary Clinton. They all came to Bernie Sanders, which is why he came from 2% to about 44% and probably beyond. But there was support for his ideas, mostly because our rightward drift has been so extreme that there's been a hunger and a need for a course correction to bring this nation back to center, and that Bernie Sanders is actually center. He is centrist, his platform, and that was practically everyone else in the race at that time that was to the right of Bernie Sanders. That the truth is that they were extreme, driven by a rightward drift of our nation. And so, there was support for Bernie Sanders from all these different political parties, that whatever differences they had with him, his overall populist, progressive stances, and most of all his consistency over the years is what drew people. And then also, even Donald Trump, as he campaigned in the general election of 2016, adopted about half of Bernie Sanders' platform. And so there was progressive populism represented in Donald Trump's platform, which Hillary Clinton rejected. And as a result, she lost. It was the progressive, populist posturing of Donald Trump that won him his support. That even though we know now he was just pretending, he campaigned as a half progressive, coming out against random recreational military interventions. He wanted to put the needs of Americans first, in terms of jobs and infrastructure, rather than being the world's policeman. And that these ideas added to Donald Trump's support base, that he would not have won if he had not moved to adopt at least half of Bernie Sanders' platform. And that also he spoke of, jobs and infrastructure, an end of recreational military interventions, And then also an end to unfair trade deals that hurt the American worker. That he wanted to focus on labor, on manufacturing, the Rust Belt states. That was also what he adopted from Bernie Sanders. Hillary Clinton neglected all of that. She was on the wrong side of the issue on down the line. And so she lost. And Donald Trump won. And then after he won, he backtracked on just about everything. And even his most ardent supporters have, turned against him in terms of that, backtracking on military interventions, military spending, neglecting domestic policy. And so, yes, it is possible for someone to run in the Republican primary as a progressive, as a populist. Will they win? We don't know. We haven't seen that concerted effort for this happening. We saw Bernie Sanders nearly win. We saw Donald Trump actually win at the presidential level. But can someone take the best of what Donald Trump pretended to offer in 2016 and then also the best of Bernie Sanders in 2016, mix it all up, and then run through the Republican primary? And it seems like the brand new Congress is making that effort, that they are running Republican challengers, coming at it from a progressive and or a populist policy kind of stance. And so, we won't know until 2018 how it goes. But for those of you who are contemplating the possibility, I do believe that yes, it can be done. Yes, it's worth the effort, and that even if win or lose, that it's important to get the ideas out there, to rock the mic whenever possible on all sides of the political spectrum. Again, our country has gone off track to the point people don't even know what conservative means anymore. That they think, well, conservative, that means free market. Like, you know what? You need to get Anne Ryan or Ayn Ryan, get her out of your head. I'm going to do a video on that soon. But she's kind of scrambled everyone's brains to they don't even know what conservative means anymore. And, we need to get back on track and hopefully pulling right-wing drift by running candidates to the Republican primaries, voter education, town halls, forums, public meetings, debates on the issues, debating the issues that Donald Trump pretended to support and that Bernie Sanders still supports. I think a Republican challenger could manage that. And then if not a Republican challenger, then an independent running through the same election, challenging the independent challenging to the right and left what true populism is, and just let them have it. So I say good luck and look for that link in the video. I'll post a link to this article and then also to brand new Congress so people can see what might happen in 2018. Hopefully only good things. Good luck.